military ran the operations here until the 1930s, when the Great Depression had taken its toll, and the cost of running the island was too great. So the military decided it could abandon its operations here and move a facility on the mainland. At the same time that they decided to relocate, there was another department in the government, the Department of Justice, that was looking for a prime location to make a visible example of what happens when you do crime. It was a new crime wave that had resulted from the Great Depression as well as Prohibition. Organized crime was running rampant, and Alcatraz became the answer to that. So the Federal Bureau of Prisons took over Alcatraz. The toughest part about Alcatraz was that it was minimum privilege. There was only 4 rights for any inmate, even including guys like Al Capone, Machine Gun Kelly, and Birdman Robert Stroud. They only had access to food, clothing, shelter, and medical attention. They had to earn any privileges, which were limited. A couple of the privileges here at Alcatraz were exercise and work. We can see the recreation yard just right outside the cell house to the right of the water tower. And a lot of the inmates that found work on the island, paid work at that, was at this end of the island in the industries buildings. The elongated building, that was a laundry. They washed all the military uniforms in the Bay Area right here in that laundry. The crumbling building on the end is the old model industries. It functioned till around the 1940s. They built furniture, hats, made hats and gloves for the military as well. But they abandoned its location because of its close proximity to the water stemmed several escape attempts, a couple which resulted in the death of a correctional officer as well as some inmates. Alcatraz even functioned off the grid. We can see here with that powerhouse, that smokestack. It's coal-fueled, everything had to be shipped out here. Kept the cell house at a nice toasty 70 degrees Fahrenheit. So in March of 1963, the prison was closed down. The same financial issues that had always plagued the island finally took their toll. And then a spectacular escape attempt that had happened in June of 1962 with 3 men who tunneled out of the back of their cells, climbed up to the roof, and made their way down to the water's edge with rafts they had made out of raincoats. They entered into the water's edge right here. They were headed towards the island behind us, which is Angel Island. They were never seen from again. Those men are still wanted. Some say they broke down that myth that Alcatraz was escape-proof. After Alcatraz was abandoned, it just sat here in the bay. A lot of talk about what to do with this prime property with great views, but horrible weather. 1969, that there was a decision made. That was when a group of American Indians made their way across the water and took over the island, claiming it by right of discovery. They deemed Alcatraz was a lot like Indian reservations. There's no running water, no productive soil or game, no schools or jobs. They were here for an entire year and a half. It was a big civil rights protest that brought together several different tribes for one cause. You'll be able to see their welcome on the dock behind the U.S. penitentiary sign. It says, "Indians welcome, Indian land." But during that occupation, some fires broke out on the island. Very suspicious, no one knows who started them, but some damage occurred. You can see that in the building we just passed. That was the social hall for the correctional officers and their families. And the other prominent burned out building is up top outside of the lighthouse. That was the warden's home. Even though several structures suffered damage, it was a big part of a civil rights movement that continues on to this day. And shortly after that occupation, Alcatraz was designated as a national park, put in with the system in the Bay Area called the Golden Gate National Recreation Area.
This is the apartment. I'm sure you do.
Like you get snow days when everything's real bad and it's all snowed in. Alcatraz kids got escape days. Truly, if there was an escape attempt, a riot, some major disturbance, routinely the island would be closed for 48 hours. And kids couldn't go to school. Or the secretary would have to call the local school. Johnny and Jane not come to school today. There was an escape in their neighborhood.